not a game, it's a rich thing.
What's up, y'all? This is Tasha. Thank you so much for stopping into my channel today. We are back here for another review of Love Without Borders, Season 1, Episode 3. If you are new here, please hit the subscribe button below. Please also hit the thumbs up button and comment in the comment section below so we can chat it up about this week's episode. It wasn't too much happening really until the very end, but still, let's talk about it, okay? So the episode opens with Dana and Brian. Brian is up farming. Dana is still sleeping. Phil and Carmen, they're waking up. He's taking a dump on the toilet. Gerline and Shreyas, they're at home alone for once, taking shots. And Aaron and Mael, they're still getting adjusted. Aaron is going to go take a pee. We have to hear that he's going to go take a pee because the apartment is so little. He's in there for about 5 minutes doing whatever it is he's doing. Mael says that Aaron is the type of guy that he would go for and he thinks he's very handsome. They sit down, have a beer, try to get to know each other, but it's pretty awkward and Aaron's face starts to turn beet red as he's just continuing to get, I guess, more embarrassed by the minute. Mael is trying to tell him basically what he does for a living. The accent is completely getting in the way and Aaron is having a very hard time finding out that he's a massage therapist. They then start cooking dinner together. Aaron is not much of a cook, so he's just playing sous chef for the most part. Aaron lets Mael know, mostly I eat fast food, and him telling Mael that, Mael is like, I hope he does not have a heart attack in my apartment while he's here. It's not how that really works there, Mael, but I get what you're saying. So Mael then shows him that, his bed pulls out a little bit more because we saw the previous week it was like a real tiny, almost like a futon, that it pulls out a little bit more and it gets a little bit bigger, not much bigger at all. But he says he's hoping by night 2 or 3 they can be spooning. And I was like, read the room? Maybe not. Maybe not. So then we meet Naim. He is from Houston, Texas. He's a 39-year-old social worker who works with middle school students. He says he's a big kid at heart himself, so he doesn't really fit in with the dating scene in Houston. We see him then sit down with a coworker. He tells her basically about Erica, the matchmaking, and that he will have to quit his job if he gets a match. He says most of his life, he was caught up in being a dog out here, just doing whatever to women. He then had a severe case of COVID, and he said that basically God came and spoke to him during that time and told him he needed to find a wife and settle down. And I was just like, why men got to be darn near on the brink of death before they feel like they absolutely need to settle down with a woman? Anyway, we then see him at home in the kitchen with his mom. He tells us that his dad passed away in 2017. And he lets us know that when they found out that his dad passed away, well, after his dad passed away, they found out that he had cheated on his mom and he had other children. He then has to let us know that they are Muslim. And when you are Muslim, which I had no idea, when your loved one passes away, or maybe just your parent, I'm not sure, pass away, you're supposed to bathe them. So as he and his brother was bathing his father, they noticed he had a huge peen. And that's why they were like, he couldn't keep the ladies away. And I was like, okay, too much information. I could have went the rest of my life without knowing that. Anywho, he tells his mom that he would have to leave the country if the matchmaker finds him a match. And she's like, I just got to really absorb this all. He really wants her support. She says no, because this is really life altering. He tells her he is doing it in faith and this is towards his spiritual alignment. She says, that's disappointing. Mama. Let this man do what he feel like he need to do for his spiritual awakening, child. Cut it out. Over back in Ireland, we see Dana. It's 9:30. Brian is coming back home. Dana's still snoring away. He cooks up breakfast, try to take it in there to her. She's still snoring away, so he decides he's going to go ahead and eat without her. She doesn't wake up until after lunchtime, which, I mean, yes, it's expected. She had a very long day of travel the previous day. And then Dana has to let us know that last night was great. She said she woke up with her pants on the floor. And then lets us know that because she said it was just so hot, but they did not go past kissing. And I'm giving them the side eye because I don't know if I believe that, okay? But he kisses her, tells her that he will get us some water and coffee. She can just sit there and stay in bed. And she is eating it all up while, again, I'm giving him the side eye because it's a little hot and heavy too soon. I just hope he does not end up like love bombing her and she just melts and falls for it and really doesn't, think things through and really look at this and the reality of it all, not the fantasy world of it all, okay? Back in Paris, it is day 2. Aaron is unpacking, and child, I don't know where he's going to put his things because this apartment is tiny. They talk about their underwear preferences for whatever reason. Mael is asking him about his, swimming attire. He's like, yeah, I got these swimming trunks. Mael is like, no, they're not going to let you in the swimming pool. It got to pretty much be tidy whities at the swimming pool. So, yeah, okay. I'll leave my opinions to myself. Over in Dubai, we see Shreyas is showing off his chest. I'm here for the eye candy. Gurleen lets us know that, he agreed that they needed some alone time and they would get their own place together. So he is headed to have this talk with his parents. He tells his dad first that he will move out with her to get to know her. Dad says, well, you have 2 ladies, one there and one here, talking about his mom and then talking about Gurleen. And I was like, sir, no, his mom is your lady. His mom is his mom. Okay, let's get that straight first of all. Then his mom enters the chat and she's not here for it either. Like the look on their face is just of disgust. And I'm like, this is a grown man. Like y'all knew it would not be forever that y'all were living together in one apartment. So I'm not understanding. I know I don't know that culture, but it's like, what did you expect with a stranger coming to get to know your son to potentially, be with him, either move here, he moved there? Like, how did you expect this to really work in the real world? We see Mama is basically trying to place the blame on Gurleen, but this only makes sense. Y'all were very overpowering on the first day, stopping by the room, asking does she need anything, trying to, cook for her, feed her. Like that's a lot to deal with right out to the gate. And then you're talking about, I may have to deal with 3 months of this. No, thank you. Don't sign me up. In Ghana, it is day 2 and Phil and Carmen are eating dinner. She's prepared traditional Ghana food and shows him that he needs to eat with his hands. She lets us know that you use your right hand for eating and your left hand is for wiping your ass. And Phil is like, so y'all don't wash your hands after wiping your ass? And of course they do, but it's just customary just to not eat with your left hand. He says eating there with her just feels right at home and tells her that, he's been single for 7 months. And then he lets us know that he really purged from multiple things. So not just not having sex, but also social media, drinking, all these other things. And she says, basically without sex, she would be going crazy. She says she is very outgoing and she really wants a partner that's also really spontaneous because she doesn't want to just stay inside either. And I don't know how these two gonna pair out. He is a musician of it all, but she gives me the type of like I can hang out with her. Like we want to go out, we want to be ratchet for a little bit, and Phil doesn't necessarily give me that vibe. So I don't know how that's gonna work. Back in Houston, Erica has showed up for Naim, so we know what time it is. It's time for him to go because she has found him a match. Erica meets his mom in the apartment, and when I tell you Mama looks completely disgusted at her being here, she is disgusted. He asks his mom, if she is still down with coming wherever he lands. So I guess they had previously discussed that wherever he ends up, he will let her know and she will then follow suit. She says, well, maybe this adventure is really yours. And she kind of just wants him to have it. And then she goes in her room and just kind of leaves him to prepare and get himself ready. And he said he was really hoping for more support from her. But I agree with Erica because she then tells him at this stage, you really have to do what is best for you. And you absolutely have to do what's best for you. You are almost 40 years old. Mama will come around. If it is meant to be and you find the love of your life, she'll be all right. She'll come around, okay? Back over to Dana and Brian. They are headed out to see his farm and his land, which is huge. Oh my God, it is so much land. She sees something on the ground and she's like, "Ooh, what's that?" And he's like, "That sheep shit." He picks it up and flings it. And I'm like, ew. Why did we have to do that exactly? That is disgusting. She then asks him maybe about having beehives on the farm and flower beds. And he's like, yeah, we're all for it. And she can man it. She's just like, I can see myself living here. And I'm like, girl, it's been 2 days. Slow your roll, homegirl. Slow it down, okay? Aaron and Mael, they are on day 3 in Paris. They're going to see the Eiffel Tower. He says basically, where he's from in North Dakota, they have the largest buffalo, and that's pretty similar to the Eiffel Tower, right? No, it's not at all. They take selfies, and then Mael pulls out a lock for the love bridge that is in Paris. And he's like, I know we aren't in love, but I figured we could use this as a sign of commitment that we are kind of in this experiment together. Aaron agrees, although he tells us in the confessional that he thinks it's too much, but he does not want to hurt Mael's feelings, and he just does not have the physical attraction towards him yet. And I'm just like, I understand being gentle towards somebody else's feelings, but there's also a way to be honest while still being gentle towards their feelings. So I'm just really hoping he does not turn into being a people pleaser, or he suppresses his own feelings in order to spare Mael's feelings. And it's just like, that's just not going to work out long term. So hopefully this was just, because they're still early, it's in the beginning, just something to not cause any friction or tension. But eventually he will definitely be able to share his thoughts, whether, agree or disagree, and they can just move on from it. So Phil and Carmen, they are on day 3. They're headed to a pool at a local hotel. She looks amazing. Like the body yaddy she is serving us every time she is on the screen, I am here for it. But is it just me? But does it always look dusty when they go over to Ghana? Like, I guess I understand is there not a lot of paved roads or something, so it's a lot of dirt roads and dust, but it always like it's covered in this dusty haze when they switch over to Ghana. Like, that would drive me insane if it truly was like, instead of fog, it is dust that's just kind of always in the air. That would drive me crazy. But, he tells her that he really likes her hair. She tells him that she's wearing faux locks, and he's shocked. And I'm like, how you didn't know those were faux locks? So, I mean, they look great on her, but you can tell they were faux locks. He says on a scale of 1 to 10, he is at a 13, honey. He cannot keep his eyes off of her as she is in her bikini and they were showering down to get into the pool. He's like, you are thick as fuck. And I'm here I love to see it. I love to see it, okay? So they jump in the pool. Her boob pops out and she has to, cover herself back up. She asks him how women approach him in America. And he's like, they're really pretty forward and, will start just coming up to me, maybe touching my hair, things like that. She lets us know in the confessional that there were moments when she wanted to kiss him, but she's like, I am not making the first move. And I don't blame you, girl. Although, I mean, y'all living together, so if you want it, just go for it. It ain't that big of a deal for a kiss. He says that, only time will tell if he's able to continue to keep it in his pants while being in the same house with Carmen. Good luck with that, Phil. Good luck. Back in Dubai, we see Shreyas is cleaning himself up because they're going to a barbecue at his cousin's house. This man has to change clothes about 5 times. He has to trim up his mustache, his beard, everything. Like, while he is very handsome, he just gives me that everything he just needs to look perfect when he goes out. And that would probably get annoying very fast because it's like, dude, just put something on and let's go. Like, every hair does not need to be laid down. It could be a lot. They head out. Daddy basically gives them the stare of death because he's like, here she comes, making my son wanting to move out of here. I don't like her already. They arrive at this beautiful home, and as soon as they step in the door, it is shot o'clock, okay? They are throwing the shots back, okay? Like, throwing it back. His friend asks Gerline what made her come to Dubai. She said, of course, dating just wasn't working in America. But she does let him know that she did not expect to walk in and find that she had to live with his family too. He then goes to talk to his cousin and tells, her that they are getting their own place. She seems completely shocked and is like, oh, is she changing you already? And he's like, no, nobody's changing me. I would not change for anyone. So back over to Houston, Naeem is about to leave. He prays with his mom, gives her a hug, hops in the G-Wagon, and once he gets to the airport, he learns that he is going to Panama City because Erica lets us know he wanted to be somewhere warm with beaches and a nightlife. So he seems to be very excited, and I love a good beach too, so I would be all here for it, okay? As the episode wraps up, we switch back over to Dubai for Gurleen and Shreyas, and it's nighttime at this party, and child, they are still throwing back the shots. At this point, who is driving home? Do they got Uber over there? Who is driving home? Because ain't none of y'all capable of leaving this house if you drove a car yourself. Shreya says, I'm being myself, but I am a bit tipsy. We can tell you are a bit tipsy, sir. We then see as they are, kind of finishing up their food and things, they're about to go inside from hanging out by the pool. Gurleen starts to clean up. After they had already told her, the help will get that. She starts picking up plates, picking up cups, and taking it back to the space. They tell her to just leave it and they'll get it, but she's being hell of annoying in this scenario of, why are you just being this insistent on cleaning up when they told you did not have to? She's like, I live alone where I come from. I clean up after myself and I just want to be helpful. And it's just like, girl, we understand that. But the host and these people said just to leave it alone, that they will get it. Shreya says when she does that, it makes it look like the party host did not hire good help. And they continue to kind of push the issue of just leave it alone. And she can't leave it alone. Like, she just keeps getting more dishes, going to the kitchen area, dropping them all, coming back, gathering more things, and just dropping it off. And she's just like, just let me do what I do. I don't care what anybody has to say. And like I said, I understand it's important for you to be self-sufficient, but it's also important for you to respect somebody else's home and somebody else's culture. Like, although you may think you're doing a good deed, you're coming off as being disrespectful. So why was it such a big deal that you just could not leave it alone? Like, this is not your home. They did not ask you to clean up. Like, she was starting to get on everybody's nerves by acting this way. And I'm not sure if this is just how she acts to try to, act like I'm still going to be myself. Nobody's going to tell me what to do. Or if it was the alcohol of, I've had too much shots, and at this point, I'm just letting however I feel, whatever I want to say, come on out with no regards for what anybody else feels or thinks in this moment. But if Gurleen keeps this up, she is going to get on my nerves very, very quickly. And I'm going to clearly be able to see why she can't find love in the States, okay? But anyway, we see next week that Naeem meets his match. Gurleen and Shreyas move into their own place. Aaron and Dana looks to be on the right track to be falling in love in the next week. And then we see Phil and Carmen, who are arguing already, and she is ready to tell him to get the out. So I guess next week, it'll get a little bit more interesting. All the couples will then be coupled up at that point. And, they can hopefully start to get a little bit more comfortable with each other. So we can just kind of get the rainbow glasses off and see more of real life for these couples. So let me know what y'all thought about this episode tonight. Again, drop your comments in the comment section below, and I will catch you next week for episode 4. Peace.